Hi, this is Bob Weir with another one of my talking columns. And this one is about an incident from my career as a police officer in New York City. And you could call this Women Can Be Brutal Too. Now, we often hear and read about men brutalizing women, and it is a national disgrace that so many women live their lives in terror. I've written many times about the battering situations I came across as a police officer in New York City. But there's another type of battering I've witnessed, although not nearly as often. That is women brutalizing men. While working a tour in Brooklyn one night, my partner and I were summoned to an apartment to handle an assault in progress. When we arrived and climbed a few flights of stairs, we heard moaning sounds coming from behind an open door of one of the rooms. Other occupants of the building were standing outside their apartments yelling advice to us about the incident. "Be careful, officer, she's crazy," one woman hollered, jabbing her finger in the direction of the open door. Guns drawn, we entered the narrow hallway and followed the moans to a room several feet away. When we turned the corner, we saw a man in a crouch with his back to the corner of the room as he covered his face with his hands and shivered. The skin on his face seemed to be dripping through his fingers as he shook violently, like someone who had an electric current running through his body. A few feet away, a large woman with a diabolical expression on her face was holding a glass container with green and gray liquid swirling around the edges. As we moved toward the injured victim, the woman cut us off and held the container in front of her as if she was prepared to throw the liquid at us. As we backed up, she began a barrage of invective that I'll clean up for this column. "You ain't helping him, 'cause I'll blind you too," she warned. "He was messing with another woman, and I fixed him good," she said. I told him I'm the only girlfriend he's ever going to have, and he didn't listen," she raved. Contempt was dripping from every syllable. Since we knew an ambulance was on the way, our job was to comfort the victim until its arrival and secure the situation as we made an arrest. However, the woman was adamant about keeping us from getting to the seriously injured man, or to her. The noxious fluid she was threatening us with was lye mixed with water, and it was as deadly as corrosive acid. "He won't be messing with women no more," the vicious beast said. "He's not going to be handsome enough to get any more girlfriends, and he won't be able to see them anyway," she growled, continuing to swirl the liquid menacingly. Honestly, I felt a powerful impulse to shoot her, for two reasons. One, because it was one of the most vicious assaults I had witnessed, especially since the assaulter stood by relishing the victim's pain and keeping him from being assisted. And two, because if she was able to throw that mixture at me or my partners, we might be crouched in the corner with our faces melting away. By that time, another radio car team arrived with the ambulance, but we were still held at bay by the huge gargoyle who was circling the room like a predator, keeping a fresh kill from being disturbed by poachers. "You come close and you're going to get some of this," she warned, moving the vial back and forth between us and the quivering victim. Threatening to use our guns was useless because we were dealing with a psycho. Yet we didn't dare get within throwing range of that flesh-eating mixture. Diversion was the only possible chance we had. As I feigned an advance on her, she took her eyes off my partner for a split second, just enough for him to place a well-aimed swing with his nightstick. The container flew from her hand and smashed against the wall. One would think that would mean the end of the lethal episode. Not hardly. With her weapon gone, she thrust her massive girth at us as we moved toward her grimacing victim. Swinging her arms violently, she spit, bit, and shrieked in guttural tones that reminded me of the bedeviled character in The Exorcist. It took all four cops to get her down, twist her arm behind her back, and secure her with handcuffs. Her boyfriend suffered blindness and major facial scars. His former paramour, convicted of maiming, got 7 to 10 in the New York Women's House of Detention. The judge said she wished she could sentence the creature to do a lot more time. So did I. Well, thanks again for watching and listening to my latest talking column. Have a good day.